If you're thinking about selling your home, but you're just not sure when the best time to sell is, this question is for you. The best time to sell my home. And this is the most common question we receive as a real estate agent. And that really, you're going to hear me say, will depend. However, watch this video to see when you should plan to sell, because it's going to go into different times of year when you plan to move by, but it's also going to factor in the competition. So it's not a one-size-fits-all answer, and we would like to tailor this information to you specifically, to your marketplace, to your house, but this is general for the specific market here in Kelowna. Hey, what's up everybody? So I got a commonly asked question on when the best time is to sell. And for that question, it really depends. It depends on everybody's individual motives, goals, where they need to go, by what time do they need to go. But we're gonna look at this chart here we have up here. This is the average sales in the last 5 years for real estate sales. And so these sales are just, as you can see, how they go up and down. Any real estate market, you're going to go up and down. Seasonality, you're going to see. Oftentimes in January, you're going to see lower sales, and that's where we're just coming out. We're in February right now, so we're just coming out of the trough. In 2020, we saw a trough in March due to all the restrictions. So we are starting to see changes in the real estate market. So when is the best time to sell? It depends, but statistically speaking, you're going to want to look at the real estate market and what's selling in your area, and that's where this is just a general overview, but oftentimes the peak selling season, what we see is in May, with the average sales higher than even June. April, they all ramp up. So we're in February right now. We don't have the statistics here, but sales from January to February all start to ramp up all the way going to May, where you see it peak, and then in June and July it starts to slow down. As we get into summer, people go on vacation. If you live in the Okanagan, you currently have a house here, oftentimes you're having family members or friends want to visit with you, or people get out, so they're not oftentimes wanting to do transactions. But we do still see a good number of transactions over the years in the month of June and July. And then we see another push here by the end of the year, so people are moved before September and October. So if you have a family and you're looking to get moved before you go into school, you're gonna probably look to see in May or June, just have a completion sometime before school starts in September, and you're not moving through the heat of July. It depends on everybody's individual situation. But when is the best time to sell? It also comes into when is the competition doing the same thing. So if you have lots of neighbors, and if you're in a beautiful home with great landscaping, you're going to want to wait till spring to list your home. But there's some properties, as we're dealing with less inventory on the market, as we move over to the active listing side of things, this is where you maybe want to differentiate your house from all the other homes coming on the market. With the peak selling season coming in May, sometimes you want to actively get ahead of that. And right now, if you look at it, historically in February, we have lower inventory than what you would see in May. We're at 1,893 active listings right now. So as we move it, we're at 2,070 active current listings on the marketplace. Go back to the average, the 5-year average here, you're going to start to see inventory increase. And we can expect to see about another 100 to 200 listings here, which is about on par for what we currently have. It's February 27th, so we're near the end of February, and we're about 170, 180 listings up, which is common with the seasonality. Come March, we're going to start to see another 150 to 200 listings on the market in March itself, overall March. So that's not also taking into account the increase in sales. In April, the amount of listings actually tends to go down a little bit depending on the year, but because the homes are also getting absorbed as they're going on the market, as the market's picking up, they're getting absorbed, and so this is the active number of listings at the end of the month there, and the overall inventory does peak in July. So everybody does seem to want to list in May, and June, but you see the inventory increase, so now you're dealing with more people on the marketplace. One advantageous, depending on what everybody else is doing in the marketplace, is to get ahead of that and get your property listed earlier than later, so you're not competing with this much competition, which might bring down overall pricing. So if you do have any questions on the real estate market, the number one question I receive all the time is, when is the best time to sell? And here's your answer. The best time to sell is in March. The best time to sell is going to be in March, where you're going to see a less competition. The sun is starting to shine. You're going to start to get ahead of the competition. Also depends on if you have a place to go. If you haven't found a place to go yet, you maybe need to wait a little bit longer, but I wouldn't leave it too long because the competition is going to be there. So I look to list likely sometime in April, no later than mid-May, because you are going to miss out on the peak selling season.